Australia's top private schools revealed. Ooh, is it the expensive, more expensive ones? I bet you James Roos is still the best school in the country though. I bet you it's still up the top. Selective, I don't understand why they don't have like selective schools in Victoria the same way that they do in New South Wales. I got into a selective school, but I didn't go to it because none of my friends were going and I didn't want to go. So I just went to my little povo school that was colloquially known as Eshe High. So yeah, everybody in the area that I lived in when I was a teenager knew my high school as Eshe High. So that gives you some indication of the quality education that was occurring there. But you know, like you learnt Pig Latin, and that's the main thing, guys. That is the main thing. Eshes are so funny. I kind of miss them. In some, although I guess that's one thing Western Sydney like sort of like, you know, sort of exported to the rest of Australia is Eshes. I want to see where the top private schools are so I can learn what their uniforms look like. So when I see that, I can be like, huh, Rich, see you next Tuesday. See you in the Northern Territory.
Well, in a landmark first, Australia's top 100 private schools have been named.
I'm just joking, obviously. I don't accost children. I don't. Sometimes I get accosted by children at the gym hitting on me. Disgusting behavior. Disgusting behavior, children. Do not hit on me. No. I know there's like a lot of cougars going around these days, but I am not one of them, please. If you're not a grizzled, sun-damaged man, please stay away. Please stay away from me. I have a type, okay? Do I? Actually, just hot. You just have to be hot. That's pretty much it. And if you're not hot but you've got a really good personality, you know, sometimes a pity root could be in the mix. You never know. It has happened. It has happened at least one time in history. So, you know, play your cards right, guys.
News Corp this morning ranking everything from academic outcomes to campus infrastructure and even extracurricular activities.
In a surprise twist, only 2 co-ed schools landed in the top 20, including Haileybury College in Melbourne. Joining us
I don't know what that is.
Principal and CEO
good for me.
Derek Scott. Good morning to you.
Derek,
good to see you. I know Haileybury's always at the top of those lists. Some say, though, if you're not first, you're last, but that's not quite right.
My first car was a $300 Datsun. That's how old it was. It wasn't even a Nissan. It was a Datsun. And that literally lasted like 4 months before it almost literally exploded. And then I had a Holden Gemini that I want to say it was like early 80s. That cost me $400. And that got through Rego like a few times. Because in Australia, in New South Wales, look at me, my brain works very well. In New South Wales, like you have to get your car inspected every year to register it. It's not like just when you're selling it, it has to be roadworthy. You have to, and it has to pass Rego every year. So they have to look at it. And those were my first 2 cars. And then after that, I had a Valiant Charger. And that was fun, but also everyone thought I was a drug dealer. I was like a goth girl driving around in like a black Valiant Charger, and that it was very loud. Let's just say it was very hard to be sneaky with that car, but it was fun. It was fun. I did enjoy it. Those were my first 3 cars. It was a time.
No, look, I know we came second in the overall rankings, but very pleased to be first in the co-ed rankings across Australia. You know, the independent school sector is a really dynamic sector. There are more than 1,200 schools across Australia in the sector. So to be ranked at the top of that amongst some very fine schools, working with great educators, it's a great honour and a great privilege. Carl, I think the feeling today is a bit like you would have felt.
Wait, they have their own pool? I don't know why I'm shocked they're rich. Of course they have their own swimming pool. What the heck? Man, my parents used to struggle to find the money for me to go to the public pool. What the heck? I know how the other half live, jeez. It's nice. It's nice. I'm jealous. I want money. Give me money. I had the chance to like marry some super rich guys, and sometimes I'm like, damn, should have done that. Should have done that. And then I'm like, ooh, no, then I would like have to, you know. Then I would have to engage in relations with them. And it's not worth the money, honestly. Like, it's not like I'm poor. You know, social workers make enough to live comfortably, as long as you don't live in Sydney. Like, because of the way that I grew up, I'm like, if I can afford to eat whatever I want for dinner, I'm like, holy shit, I am the wealthiest person alive. Look at me. I can afford my bills. I can afford the roof over my head. I can afford like all these things. Private school was not worth it for the trauma, or did you go to a private school? I bet it was bad. I think bullying is way worse at private schools, right? Because at a public school, you just punch each other in the face and then you move on. I feel like it's just a more harmonious way to get things done.
When you got an A+ on one of your tests at school, you know, reward for effort and feeling good about things.
Yeah, I got the encouragement award. I was particularly good at extracurricular activities.
Oh, you went to a private Catholic boys' school. See, Catholic schoolgirls are like very, you know, Catholic schoolgirls are very, so if you're going to go to a Catholic school, you at least want to go to one where the chicks are like very toey, right? Otherwise, like, what's the point? What is the point? You also went to a private Catholic school? Ooh, was it at least co-ed? Did you at least, like, you know... The private schools will force people out rather than expel. Bullying is rough. You went to a co-ed private school? Ooh. Sorry when I always pay out private school kids, guys. I didn't realize I was insulting my audience. I like you. Look, I don't care if you went to a private school. I don't. I'm just jealous because I grew up poor and my parents couldn't even afford the school contribution fee for my, like, public high school, okay? And my high school boyfriend's family had to buy me, like, shoes and stuff one year, so... It's, you know, it's tough out here. It's tough out here for a little panda.
Activities, though.
Oh, yeah, right.
Look, were you surprised by the lack of co-ed schools in the top 20, or not really?
Look, I think that there's a great diversity in the sector, and there are a lot of small girls' schools do a great job. There's some really fine boys' schools, but yeah, it's perhaps a little bit surprising. But I think the main thing is there's choice for families. There's a lot of choice across the states and territories about schools to go to, and that's a good thing to have in this country. There's fabulous state schools doing a wonderful job as well. It's a vibrant sector. I know it gets talked down a lot, but gee, our educators in Australia do a marvellous job.
Let's see. I want to say James Roos High School is still the #1 school in the country. I feel like it's always going to be, right? But I just love that, like, a selective public school in Northwest Sydney can, you know, can take out the crown. Top schools, high schools. I should specify high school, right? Top high schools in Australia. Let's go 2004 because we don't know 2025 yet. I mean 2024. Is my brain okay? It's really not. James Roos Agricultural High School. Consistently top-ranked high schools in Australia for 2024 include James Roos Agricultural High School, North Sydney Boys, which it's in North Sydney, so it's rich, but it's still a public school. Damn, son. North Sydney Boys High School, Balcombe Hills, which is also a selective. These are all selective. High School, Sydney Grammar, Rich People School, Sydney Boys High School, Rich People School, but public, selective. Wow. Look at the selective schools. Look at the selective schools go. We do like to see it. We do like to see it. Although there are some selective schools. There's a Penrith High is selective. Auburn Girls is selective. Not Parramatta. Granville Boys is selective, but not academically selective. I can't remember what it is. But they keep on showing it on the news and saying that it is cultivating Islamic extremists, and I'm like, hey, that's where a lot of my childhood friends ended up going to high school. Okay, keep Granville Boys out of your mouth, media. That Avi Yemeni guy, he made a video about Granville Boys, and I got so mad. I think I actually wrote like the media, like, what's it called, the media watchdog people. I wrote to them, and I was like, he's doing a classism and a racism, and I will not stand for it. Yeah, AMCA, that's the one. I googled it, and I sent them a strongly worded thing. I mean, I do think he should be allowed to say whatever he wants. I just think he's a dickhead. I also wrote him a comment under his video. Oh, see you, Dango. I hope you have a good Saturday night. Go out and party. I would, if I was healthy. I do miss live music and drinking. I do miss it a lot. I do miss that. And it especially sucks living in Melbourne because there's obviously like all the music venues in Sydney are gone. So it's Melbourne High School. I'm guessing that's public. Is that Melbourne High School public? I'm guessing it would be. It's a selective. Oh, you do have a few selectives. Okay. Just not as many as we do. I gotcha. Melbourne High is public. It's a selective feeder for Melbourne Uni. Yeah, all of the selective schools are feeders for the group of 8 unis. So New South Wales, it's Sydney and UNSW. And I went to both of those unis, and I went to the poorest, most underfunded public schools, and I still do better in the HSC than all the rich kids. I'm not going to boast about my mark because it's just kind of lame. But I just want to say high 90s, guys. Believe it or not, I studied very hard. I wouldn't say that I'm smart, but I studied very hard. So you recently did the private school. Has been great. Where are you at, Pseudomastics? Where were you at? What state or what country? I don't know. I'm assuming Australia. What state or territory did you do your prac in? I assume for teaching? Oh yeah, you said teaching. I didn't read after the comma. Year 11s and 12s, philosophy. Ooh, see, we didn't have a lot of subjects. That we could choose for our HSC because our high school was so underfunded that I couldn't do a lot of the subjects that I wanted to do. Queensland near Brizzy. Okay, I don't know much about Queensland education system, to be honest. I know that the University of Queensland is good. I know that's a group of 8, and that's about all I know about it, to be honest. You legit got an ATAR of 50. There's nothing wrong with that. Just for me, like with the family that I came from, and like I didn't want to, end up in a situation where I was also going to have a very hard life and live in poverty. So I saw like education as my only way out of like breaking the cycle of poverty. So it was just incredibly important to me to study as hard as I could, and that was something that I like focused on. But it's not necessarily, it's not necessary for everybody. Just for me, it was really the only thing that I would be able to do would be able to get like a job that required a degree. I obviously not somebody that can do like physical labor or anything like that. So yeah, I know a lot of people. Like for example, my best friend was expelled in year 10. And they still done all right for themselves. They earn more money than I do, and they got expelled in year 10. So, I did hang out with the naughty kids. I'm not gonna lie, I was a naughty kid, but I was a naughty kid that never got in trouble because I was very polite to the teachers, even though like I smoked and stuff. Even though I was a little bit naughty, a little bit cheeky, all of my teachers really loved me, and the deputy principal, he just would never expel me. He never suspended me. He just went, oh, Panda, come on, love. And I'd be like, all right, I won't do it again. And then I would like leave, and I would probably do it again a few months later because that's how I roll. Thanks for the nose news. You once coded an application that could detect when school IT was able to view your screen. Ooh. See, you're smart. You can do stuff like that. I'm so bad when it comes to computers and technology and stuff. I have no idea what I'm doing. My family was too poor to have a computer at home when I was a kid. I used to go to the library to like type my assignments for school, and I had to go to the library to use the internet as well. My parents did end up taking a loan out when I was like in year 11 and year 12 because I really needed one. But up until I was like, I think 15, we didn't have the internet or anything at home. It was tough, man. It was tough. You got to teach year 10s about consent on Monday. That is going to be awkward. Why do they need to know about year 10 in a physics class? Did you say you were teaching physics? Did I imagine that? I feel like that's a health. I feel like that's a PE and health. Anyway, consent is important to learn about. So I could just stand in front of a group of kids and talk about sex. I don't. I'm so desensitized to everything because of the job that I do. I'm just so desensitized to everything. I'm just like, yeah, here you go, kids.
And tweeted this week that, why is Ukraine not hitting back deep into Russia and so on? It seemed to be...
Bring out the banana. Do they still do that for showing you how to put on a condom? Apparently, young kids don't wear, like, I've gone back to, like, not wearing condoms. Like, sorry, I don't know where you've been, sir. Please, please don't. Yeah, syphilis and stuff like that are making a comeback because kids aren't, like, when I say kids, I mean, like, I don't mean actual children. I mean young people. You didn't even do sex education? What the heck? I think I've told everybody about my health teacher that tried to molest me. Yeah. I think I've told everyone that story, but that's what I always remember from health class primarily. Do you know what I think should be in health class? I don't know if this is like whatever, but I feel like it would be very helpful to women, to straight women, if the boys got pulled aside and got taught where the clitoris is. I think that would be very useful. I'm just going to throw that out there. The amount of men that don't know how to locate a clitoris is, yeah. They need to do that. I'm sorry. I'm going to be the one to say it. This might be too TMI, but like, how are you guys doing out there? I just feel like a lot of young women must be faking orgasms out there in this world, and I for one refuse to do that. So get good.
About things, and that could be.
Oh yeah, and then I just start playing a video about Trump and the Ukraine. Sorry, I keep on saying the Ukraine. It's a habit that I will one day break. But yeah. What do you think? Like, do you like how are guys, like, if you went to a Catholic school and you didn't get sex education, like how are you guys learning that? Are you learning that from like certain websites where adults are going at it? Hopefully adults are going at it. Like how do you learn that? Don't ask. I assume it involves a website that ends with the word hub, I'm assuming. But yeah, I would not learn how to do that from that. But yeah, it's I think the women of Australia would be grateful if that was a part of the S education in our country. Look, I'm just thinking of all the poor women out there suffering. I'm just thinking about all the poor women out there suffering because yeah, I don't know, like men just don't seem to understand what like lady parts at all. What are you doing? Are you okay? Sort it out, guys, please, for the love of God. All right, maybe we should change the subject. But look, that is my recommendation. While we're on the topic of education, your thing is university elitism lets them form unique relationships with schools to scam people. Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of private schools that are like, oh, if your kid goes here, they'll definitely get into Sydney Uni or they'll definitely get into UNSW. You learned it from a weird Pokemon obsessed kid. He just told you it's where Cloister's horn is. Oh my God, dude, what the hell? That actually works though. Wow, that's amazing. Holy shit, I have to say, pseudomastics, that is one of the most amazing things I have ever heard in my life. That is like, maybe the nerd kids are who we need to be hooking up with if they know that, even if they know it from like, you know, clam oyster looking Pokemon. At least they know where it is. That's University of Melbourne has way lower employment rates than Charlestown. Well, yeah, just because you went to a good university, it doesn't mean you're going to get a good job. Like, I studied social work at the University of Sydney, and I could have studied it at a way cheaper university and, like, you know, had way less hex. But I think for me too, because like nobody in my family had ever finished high school, nobody in my family, you know, probably even knew what university was. I think it was more important to me and my pride that I went to group of 8 universities. Like, I somehow became a university snob just because I kind of felt like I need to prove to everybody that I'm going to get the best marks. I'm going to go to the best, you know, I'm going to go to the best university. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then you can't say mean things to me, right? Because I've got a piece of paper from a place that only smart and rich people can go to. And I do feel like that was a driver. I somehow like inadvertently became like an elitist from like a very, very, very like underclass, working class family. I feel like I inadvertently sort of became the one thing I hated. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, I still get treated like trash. You know, when people ask me where I grew up and things like that. Like, I've dated some very like well-to-do people because people from my social class don't hit on me, which I would like to date a working class guy. Like, I would enjoy that. I think I would enjoy that. But yeah, they never hit on me. Only like really like kind of, yeah, rich guys. I'm not gonna say working class guys never hit on me, but yeah. Anyway, so I've dated some well-to-do people, and when they found out like the type of family that I've come from, they've been very, yeah, very, very, very cruel towards me. Let's just say, like, I've had to break off engagements, things like that, because, you know, they don't want their son marrying Western Sydney white trash, that type of stuff. So it's definitely hard. Like, marrying or like dating across like class divides are definitely hard. And everybody likes me until like they don't assume anything about me unless I tell them. But it's like, I'm not ashamed of where I'm from. And you know, all of my best friends are from like the Penrith Blue Mountains area and the Granville Marylands area and the Bankstown area. And I love those people. And like, I'm not ashamed of them. I'm not ashamed of my family. I'm not ashamed of where I come from. You know, you can't help what color skin you're born in. You can't help what family you're born in. It's just fucking stupid. It's just fucking stupid. Anyway, society sucks. That's the rant, I guess. And men should learn where the clitoris is. Get good, guys. Please, for the love of God. And yeah, that's my rant for the day. But I do like the cloister. I do like the cloister. We should that would definitely be good for like the boys that have tisms and are heaps into Pokemon. We can definitely help them with the cloister analogy. That's gonna be helpful. I feel like at this stage we shouldn't watch news about the Ukraine. We should just play games, because I feel like this has been a very unserious stream. But yeah, it's definitely hurtful when people judge you on stuff that you can't help. It's and it's got nothing to do with who you are as a person, right? It has nothing to do with who you are as a person, but it's very hurtful. Look, if the news gets out that nerds know where the clitoris is, I think nerds are going to be getting a lot more sex than like the hot dudes. Not gonna lie. It's definitely hard out on those streets sometimes, guys. Definitely hard on those dating streets. Oh yeah, we were watching this story. Then I went on a tangent about the men not knowing where the clitoris is. Okay, let's go.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, and that is a really good wrap, because obviously private schools are not always accessible for most Australians. So it is heartening to see that some of those public schools, of course, are doing quite well.
Doing incredibly well. And, you know, accessibility is an important thing for us. We're an incredibly diverse community here at Haileybury. We've got 4 campuses in Melbourne. We've got a campus in Darwin. We've got a really vibrant online school. We've got 46% of our students speak a language other than English at home. We've got 60 different ethnic backgrounds. You know, celebrating that multicultural diversity but striving for excellence is what we're always about. And it's so good to be a part of the community and an inclusive community. I'm standing below here some posters that students have done about what they would do if they were Prime Minister for a day. And one of them's written, I would make sure that everyone was just accepted for who they are. And that's a lovely sentiment that we want across all of our schools.
Oh,
well, just as well their parents are rich. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just being a dickhead, guys. I am a massive dickhead, if you have not noticed that. I am a fuckwit, if you will.
Absolutely is.
Well, you're more than, I mean, principals in many ways are like the mayor of their town and schools, aren't they? What do you think about
Wow,
the
Carl,
cost of
you are a
private
big
education
brain,
now?
a big brain boy.
A lot of parents aspire to it and they want their kids to have it.
Yeah.
But it's becoming such an expense.
Yeah, look, it is. But of course, again, across the sector, there's a great diversity from low fee to mid fee to high fee.
Knox
because
Grammar.
we operate at such scale with over 5.
Knox Grammar is where that cheetah pumpkin eater Hugh Jackman went to. Disgusting behavior, Hugh. We believed in you. And you cheated on your wife. That's disgusting. You are a stinky, stinky man, and I'm against you and everything you stand for. Also, I heard he's a Manly supporter. Disgusting behavior. Get on the bus, Hugh. Get out of here.
5,300 students in Melbourne. We're really aware of this and try to keep the fees as tight as we can, but we also have the capacity to offer a lot of means-tested bursaries to students. And with our 4 campuses, they're in very different suburbs, very different socioeconomic areas. So we're really aware of that and trying to make it all as inclusive as we can in a socioeconomic sense, as well as in a multicultural sense.
Yeah, and I know it's about more than ATARs these days, but certainly you guys rank well when it comes to that score as well. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Principal.
I wish you were my principal.
I know.
I might have had a decent high school.
Oh, come on. You didn't end up too badly, Carlos.
He kind of did. He kind of did turn out to be a bit of a dickhead, gotta say. Carl's been riding on the chicken clip for a decade. Yeah, and the rocking up like rocking up still drunk after the Logies or whatever else. His brother is openly racist on Sky News, so that's good. He likes to humiliate First Nations children who caught $1 million barra, and yeah, imagine trying to take that away from a kid. Disgusting behavior. You come from a disgusting family, Carl, and the apple does not fall far from the tree. Dun dun. Investigate. I'm investigating you, Carl. I've got my eye on you. He's a very trashy man.
Fine student though, Carl, but thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe get back to school, yeah.
Oh, I didn't finish.
Well, that says a lot though, doesn't it?
To see the full list, head to top100schools.com.au or pick up a copy of your local News Corp paper. It's interesting reading that.
Absolutely.
Is it though? Is it? Look, I don't think I would ever send my future children to a private school. I just don't think, like, if they're smart, they'll do well wherever I put them. If they want to work hard, they can work hard. If they don't, if they want to go to TAFE, if they want to do a trade, if they want to do whatever, like, I'm like, yeah, go for it, guys. Go for it. Oh, Snoop Dogg controversy. Snoop Doggy Dogg.